Welcome, folks.
Yeah,
OGNT streaming on Pump Fun.
that's right. That's right.
Oh yeah,
What's
what's been
happening?
happening, man? So
I let's see. I released a new book this week. I got a couple more coming out in the next couple weeks. Um, I I started a secret YouTube channel that I'm not going to tell anybody I'm not even going to tell you. I'm not telling anybody. I want to see if I can get my first subscriber organically. So I've put up uh 5 videos. 2 of them are shorts.
mm,
And I'm up to about 2,200 views and 0 subscribers so far. So YouTube journey just starting. What's up with you?
now I need to go and find it.
You won't find it.
Mm,
Well, I doubt it. I mean, I
mm.
didn't put my name on it. I gave it a name and started doing like stuff for creators, camera reviews, that kind of stuff. Just like
Cool.
gear.
That's an interesting take.
So I want to see if I can make, you know, I want to see if I can have a channel that does like 5% of the views my other channel does, but makes, 100 times more money.
Mm,
So do it for the dollars.
we'll see.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
we'll
all right.
see.
I'm good. I've been busy, kind of a frustrating few days, sort of getting apps working and whatever. And I've been spending my what I class as my wind down time at the end of the day, at least starting to go down the open floor rabbit hole.
Oh,
I'm
fun.
not. I haven't done it yet. But if you look in the if you look in the few weeks since we started talking about it, and you had a play the stuff that's out there, or that's just emerged in the last few weeks, is yeah. I subscribed to I joined a Facebook group, open floor user, whatever, Facebook group, 155,000 people in this group.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And people sharing their setups and all kinds of stuff. And yeah, so yeah, it's
I've broken it twice now. I tried to
yeah,
reinstall it and I
totally
tried to
good.
make yeah, I tried to make a new one that was just a meme coin pump fund trading bot. And I don't know how far I got with it. And it was just like I got frustrated, man. I'm just like, this is not spending my whole day trying to teach you how to do something, and
Hmm.
the problem is that people advertise it and hype it out to be more than it is. Like you can't, I mean, if you want a trading bot, you need something that's watching all the time. And this thing's
Mm,
like, I'll check back every hour. Well, that's not really what I'm
mm,
looking for. I'm looking for something that monitors and acts on changes. And so I think there's a lot of holes in it. And I think a lot of people are like, not that I don't want to downplay it. It's a great product. It's a great tool. And I think it gets us to somewhere. But I feel like you see these YouTube videos or these X posts where people are like, I taught OpenClaw to trade on Poly Market and I turned $200 into 25,000. No, you didn't. No, you fucking didn't.
I
You
think
trying to sell me your OpenClaw blueprint. That's what you're doing.
there's a bullshit
Yeah.
element to it. What I'm interested in is again, said it last week, said again this week. In fact, I'm further in than I was, far further in with Claude than I was last week. I've probably only used ChatGPT 3 times this week,
Right.
and that was to get it to do a graphic set. Um, because I gave it an image, I gave Claude an image, and it completely screwed it up. And ChatGPT did it exactly as I wanted it first time. So I'm all in on Claude even further now. I haven't even touched their co-work feature yet, which is
Is that the one
Again,
where it takes over your computer?
it can help organize your computer and all that stuff. So
There's
I feel a little
there's Claude Code. Is that what
no
that's a
co-work.
different thing. Okay.
Yeah, so it's available on the Mac app. I've read stories of it doing all kinds of funky things for people, but I haven't gone down there yet. Um, and then I had because I know I want to embrace it, and I know I need to learn about. And we're only talking about OpenClaw from a point of view of that's the first thing. You know, in 6 months' time, who knows where the hell we'll be at? Who knows how it will be progressed? Whatever. But I want to get into at least understanding stuff, even if it's not. But at the same time, I don't want to spend an entire day figuring it out, getting it
Right.
working.
Yeah.
Um, so I asked Claude. I have like an hour before I call it a night, late night of doing stuff that doesn't need to be thought about, which is kind of my equivalent of downtime,
Yep.
and that's what I've been doing. And I don't like the idea of it running on my main machine, the one
Sure.
I'm
Yeah.
speaking on now. So I'm removing it because I haven't done it. I haven't touched it. I'm removing that. I don't like that idea for many reasons. Then I went down the asking, okay, what would you use? And there's so many VPS systems out there already that literally offer one click setup,
Yeah.
ready to go.
A Mac desktop you can just log into for like $100 a month or something.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you know, even OpenAI have got their own version of cloud-hosted OpenClaw
Right.
now. And then I asked it, hey, what about an ideal setup to run it myself, which I still prefer. I don't know if it's the control freak in me or whatever, but a decent enough spec to be future-proofed.
Yeah.
I don't want to put that money into that. And then you say, actually, you know, yes, I'm a Mac fanboy through and through, but does it actually need to be a Mac? No. Could it just be a box running Linux? Probably better in some ways and cheaper. So Claude gave me an entire rundown of a company I've never heard of that seemingly does these mini PCs that are low power consumption and quite expandable or customizable, whatever. So yeah, and then you go further down, and what people are now doing is running 3 or 4 of these machines, and each one, like kind of like you did on a smaller scale, you had elements or agents within your setup to where your writing used one LLM, your creative did another. There, people are already using 3 or 4 of these machines, and each one runs a different agent for different things.
Sure. Yeah.
And the geek in me is fascinated by this stuff. And
Yeah.
then you add in with right at the beginning, that's kind of hooked me a bit, if I'm honest.
Right. Yeah.
And I
No,
need to
I get
learn
it.
this stuff to be able to
Yeah.
help others as well. So
And you
yeah,
can
that's
link
where
up
I'm going.
APIs to every, it's not just LLMs. It's like you can link
Yeah,
to any other product on the internet. It's all connected through these APIs, and
yeah.
the shit that's going to get built over the next little while is going to be incredible. And I think the best stuff we're not even hearing about, you know, the stuff that people are using it for. I saw a guy on a podcast recently, and he was talking about how he built a Reddit argument bot, and its only job was to win arguments on Reddit. And I thought to myself, that's like, you know, there are people out there that are just doing, you know, they're doing like the evil genius kind of work. And it's like, okay, at some point we have to realize that sometimes we're arguing with bots online, and we have to be
Mhm,
really careful if we're going to give our time to that, you know, like who's really on the
mhm.
other side of that profile trolling you. Now for me it's engagement. If it's on my profile, then it's engagement. I'll argue with them all day long because you're just boosting my numbers and for free. You
Yeah,
know, I'm using
yeah,
your API calls to boost my engagement. It's great. But
yeah.
at some point, I got to think, well, maybe I need a bot to argue with the bots, and then it just gets out of control. Now
There was
you've
one
got
really interesting
bots
guy
fighting.
that posted in this Facebook group. He literally put a picture of his setup.
Hmm.
Some of it went over my head, but I can learn whatever. I'm not that, I'm technical, but I'm not like hardware technical. And then he just posted his entire spec of it, which was good because I could plug that in and see what that was about. Um, but what was really interesting is he kind of put his route to lowering his costs. So he initially started and his costs were like $40 a day. He's now running them at $20 a day. He hopes to get that down. His goal is to get it down to $10 a day. And if you could be doing, and this guy was running four machines, running four different agents type
Right.
thing, you know?
So he's running his own. He's running that open source LLM then on Mac Studios or something, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So,
expensive though because you have to spend like 20 grand on that Mac because you need like 500 gigs of RAM to run
he
those
wasn't running
LLMs.
Mac, so he was running these Rise the machines or whatever they are. He was running
Okay.
Linux boxes.
Whatever
Um,
it is, you need a shit ton of RAM to run those LLMs. Like you need a RAM spec that's off the charts.
yeah. Well,
That's why
again,
that's why the people are complaining about how much energy these things use because you really need like a big data center to run these, and if you're not, you need a sick amount of RAM, like just sick. I've seen
mm,
some of the Mac Studio specs these guys are running their own LLMs on, and it's like $20,000 Mac Studio completely loaded.
well, yeah. Well, I want to go that route, but I'm interested just because it's exciting from where it's going to be at, and imagine where it's going to be at by the end of the year. You know,
At some point, I feel like it's a Ponzi scheme. Like, don't you
really?
don't you get that feeling that it's like at some point we're all gonna have bots and LLMs and agents and AI, whatever we want to call these things, right? And they're all trying to sell stuff to human beings. They're all trying to interact with humans, right? And at some point, I feel like there's going to be too many of them and not enough of us, and the noise
Mm.
is just going to get out of control. And maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel like we're almost there. We're going to get to a
Maybe,
point
but
where people are
then you're
like,
going
I
to
don't
have
even want to go online anymore. Like I don't even want to go. I don't even
humans.
want to go.
Maybe you'll have humans owned agents trying to sell to each other more. But at
Right.
some point, this whole thing's going to come full circle. Like, look, the utopia for me with this stuff is what technology can I use to make me three or four times more productive in a day? Right? That's ultimately what I'm aiming for. Yeah. And
Sure.
how can I make my
Yeah.
life easier and make me more productive? Um, and I would imagine that's what a lot of people would want. Then when
Sure.
you get into AI's trading with, talking with, which is already happening, other AIs, that's where it kind of gets a bit freaky in that, well, that comes down to control.
Well, yeah, but we all
Mm.
give them a little bit of money to spend, and now we have these agents on our behalf out like spending money to help us. Obviously, the only goal is to help us make more money. Like and I get there's other people that are like, oh, I want to, you know, make the world a better place, and that's good for you. But I'm here to make fucking cash. So, like, if I'm using all these bots, I'm using them to prey on, not prey on, but like target people, and at some point there's going to be more bots than people, and then I don't know, I feel like there's a collapse point. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like there's a point where we all have these robots trying to sell us stuff, and we're just going to be like, fuck these robots, like, and
Mm.
maybe I'm trivializing it, but I just feel like there's a point where this collapses because I don't know. I don't see how we can raise the noise level of like advertising and marketing and social media higher. We can, all we're going to do is We're gonna have all these bots and agents and fake influencers competing with real people, but at some point, I don't know. If we
So
can't
when
tell the
it
difference.
collapses, if it collapses, what then do we see? Do we see? Because, like, for me, I think AI is going to make people value people more at some point. I've said that before.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
I think people will yearn for hopefully human interaction, non AI influenced in any way more.
Yeah.
So it'll kind of come full circle where people are valued more real people,
But like
real.
imagine if you're a company like Meta or X or um uh TikTok, right? And your whole business is built around, which prices are going up crazy right now. Your whole business is built around video storage and allowing
Mhm.
people to upload godly amounts of content every single day. And now AI is making the content. AI is creating the videos. So now you have, like, before it was like any asshole with a phone could upload stuff, and that was expensive if you owned one of these platforms. But now the amount of slop that's getting uploaded and taking up your hard drive space, your data center
Yeah,
storage is exponentially growing. So at some point, some of these things have to break, right? Like,
yeah.
hard drive space isn't free. These uploads are, it's like if you think about NFTs, right? Like they went through this phase where there was like this hype phase and everybody was talking about them like they were the greatest thing. And that's kind of how this is being touted right now. Like these are the greatest things and you got to figure, and I get it, like they're great, but the bubble can collapse when there's more sellers than buyers. There's more agents than people. There's more bots than humans. There's more slop than actual content. Something, and when I say something's got to break, it could be that one of these platforms is like, okay, we're going to ban all AI content, or we're going to be a non-AI platform, which is going to be hard to figure out what's real and what isn't. And then they're going to be
Oh, it
banning us
is.
for
Yeah.
using AI. And the other thing I keep thinking about is, and again, this is like me, right? I think about things from my perspective because I got banned by ChatGPT. But like, if you're gonna, are you gonna really think you can put your entire company in the hands of an AI and you're gonna fire a whole bunch of people? And then what happens if that AI deplatforms you halfway through your business cycle? You're like, oh, you got all these AI agents working for you, and then Claude or OpenAI or Gemini is like, you know what? We don't like your business model. We've banned you and all your employees fired like that. And now
Hmm.
what? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
there's so many people are talking about this like it's going to replace people. I have not,
No, I
and I'm a pretty,
disagree.
like, dude, I'm a coder. I'm a pretty technical guy, and I have not yet seen anything that could replace anybody. Not that I even have a team of people, but like nothing could replace a human assistant. The people I hire, like a camera person or
Yes.
like none of these things can be outsourced yet. And even if they could, I don't know if I would trust AI to make the decisions. I don't believe that any of these large language models are smart enough to actually handle running parts of my business or managing my customer service or doing anything of any value. Like there's so much fuck up. They make so many mistakes. They're just like, they're great until they're not. And then they're sloppy as fuck. And then you're like, wait a second, this is worse than having like an intern from another country working for me. Like this is terrible.
No, I agree. Yeah, I agree. And it
We're
changes
just
so
not
quickly.
there. Yeah, but we're not
But
there.
this is what I've been saying this week. I said it on a few calls, and it's actually set another idea in my head. Like, so I've talked about, like, I'm gonna I shall hire my first VA again this year, maybe one or two, but at least one. And then, so, like, because you even though they're virtual, you can't, if you find a good one, you can't, like you just said, replace human. There's no way I want to just rely on this stuff to scale. So the really simple idea is if you find an assistant, a physical human assistant, and then you tool them up to be able to use this stuff with their and my oversight, you would like to think that's going to make one VA, as an example, two, three times more productive,
Right.
hopefully. That's kind of my idea where I'm going. So, the idea is going to replace, let's switch that to make it, like if you've got companies at the minute that and their employees are not using AI to some degree, they are not being as productive as they
Yeah,
could be.
it should supplement their
And that's
ability
that's
to
to
do
me
things.
where
Yeah.
it finds. So
Yeah.
like my first VA will be trained up to use, well, one, to use AIs, and two, given the information that's relevant to me and my business as files to put into that. So they're fully up to speed relatively quickly. And then you would like to think ideally they're just a lot more productive. So
Right.
you get the production from one VA, one virtual assistant, that's the equivalent of having two or three. Yeah, and the idea that's come from that, I got links to Romania. There's a lot of Romanian VA services out there, but I don't really see, well, there's VAs out in Romania as an example, same as Philippines. But the Romanian things, because of my links to it, imagine being able to offer VAs that are AI assisted in certain fields. I think that's a play, and I'm going to be doing it myself. So it's something I'm looking into more. And then when you take, like, 12 months down the line, when you take OpenClaw or wherever it's going to be, where whatever next creation is going to be. But I've always said you're not going to replace humans with this. You're just going to empower them to be better and more productive.
Hopefully, yeah. And and that it's definitely helped me with, like, having something that can write a press release or write my Amazon sales copy, because I'm too just not I don't have the it's not creative work for me. It's monotonous, repetitive work for me. And or help me, like I did a workshop in Toronto recently for new comedians, and one of the things that came up was AI, and they're all talking about it like, oh, it's going to replace us. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not that funny, and it can't see funny
Well,
the way we
it's
see
never going to
funny.
replace comedians. You're never
No.
going to, over
But
here in London.
what we came up with, though, is that how I use it is I treat it like a team of junior comedy writers.
Yeah,
I
so
know it's
systems.
bad at joke writing, but if I'm like, hey, here's a topic I want to write jokes about, and it knows joke structure and it can deliver me a bad joke that I can rewrite into a good joke, well, that saves me some time. And it might find, we do a lot in comedy, like listing techniques. Okay, I want to write a joke about this, and then we have to list all the things that we know about it, what it's related to, what are the opposites, what are there's a whole sort of litany of things you come up with around a topic to find the joke points. And AI will help you with those lists, but it won't find the nuggets in the list. You
Oh,
will,
yeah.
because you have cultural references, you have all these things that AI doesn't really hone in on as well.
I
So I
can
don't know. I
never
just feel
see a
like
time.
it's a tool we use, like you said, it supplements our
Yeah.
workflow, but I don't see it being I see it doing some of the jobs. Like customer service, I could see if you trained your
Yeah.
AI on enough customer service chats, sure, it could probably do that. But even like there was one recently where uh some guy was able to trick a chatbot into selling him a truck for $1, at some dealership, and he just kept talking to it until it negotiated the price down to $1, and I think they had to honor the deal. Like,
Wow.
so if you're not careful, someone's going to figure out how to trick your AI.
I mean,
I
like
would,
going to see a
I'd love that.
comedian on stage, it's never going to be replaced by anything other than a human. Over here in London,
But
we
his
have the
jokes could be, his jokes might be written
yeah,
by AI,
yeah. Like we have the ABBA tribute Avatar based show in London. It's been going for ages. It's like fucking some millions, multi. They're probably hitting 1 billion or something. I don't know, whatever. But so people go to see ABBA in concert, but it's their avatars beamed up on stage. Have you seen this thing?
No.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
So like the James Cameron Avatar mixed with ABBA.
Yeah, yeah. Well, whatever. If you look at the stage, it's like ABBA on stage. I've not been. I know people that have. They say it's a great experience,
But
and some people have.
but you always say Avatar, like the blue monkey thing,
No,
right?
no,
Oh,
no. Let
oh.
me show you this. Let me show you this. ABBA. I can't remember what it's called. ABBA. Oh, ABBA Voyage. There you go. So yeah, ABBA Voyage. So if you go to abbavoyage.com, a concert like no other. And yeah, it's going, it's like you're watching ABBA on stage, but it's not. It's,
Huh.
you think you can see them on stage, but it isn't them.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know what you're talking
You
about.
know,
They did
not
that. They did that
Avatar.
with Michael Jackson. It was like a holographic Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
holograph. That's what it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. I was
The
using the
great thing
wrong
about
terminology.
holographs is they can't touch kids, so that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Did you
yeah.
watch the Did you see the Finding Neverland, or the what was it called, the Neverland documentary
Yeah.
about Michael Jackson?
Whenever I hear Michael Jackson on radio, I was never a really Jackson fan, but whenever I hear him on radio, I'm like, how come his music's not been cancelled like others?
I think some people get a pass. I think we give some people a pass, and I think there's a lot of people who don't want to believe Michael Jackson touched kids till you watch that documentary, and then you're like, yeah, he fucked those kids for sure. He fucked those kids. But like, I don't know. I feel like there's just some people get a pass. Like the other one is the other pedo that gets a pass is Stephen Hawking, right? He went to Epstein's Island, but everybody's like, come on, did he? I mean, what could he do? Does his dick even work? Like what did he just watch? Like, what's he doing? But we gave him a pass because he's a science nerd and he's got a disability, right? So we're like, oh, okay, well, let's give him a pass. Michael Jackson has kind of a disability too, right? It's a mental
Does he
disability,
there?
but it's a mental disability for sure.
Really?
Yeah, he's come on. He something's wrong with him. It's not
Oh,
just
yeah.
not
That could
just
be
the
said
pedo
about
part.
many pedophiles. You
No, but
mean like
like
brain development
beyond that
wise?
part. Yeah, like the way he talks, and he's like kind of stuck in his childhood and I think I think his dad fucked him up enough that he didn't get a chance to be a child and that fucked him up as an adult. It doesn't excuse the pedophilia, but it's like I think that's why people give him a pass because they feel sorry for him because his dad was so mean and he was such a but it's like I don't know. Lots of people overcome that shit too, right? So,
Mm.
but I mean, I like the music. I like Michael Jackson's music, and I feel like you know listening to it doesn't change anything. He's dead. You know what I mean? It's not like he can do anything. But you know, I don't know. A lot of people get canceled, and then later we end up liking their stuff. So
Yeah. And I
Cosby
don't agree with
Cosby show's
cancel.
still on.
I don't agree with canceling for it depends what it's for, you know. I mean, fucking people telling jokes and shit like that. People shouldn't get cancelled necessarily for that. But when it comes to what we've just been talking about, I don't know. But yeah, I did watch Finding Neverland and it was pretty disturbing. And then you have people saying, oh, they're just lying, you know? So,
I don't know. There's too many people. There's too many of them to all be liars,
oh, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
it's
agree.
like I don't know. I think it's one of those things is like, okay, well, if this many people came out and said you did something, you probably did the thing,
Yeah.
and I
Smoke
think we
without
can,
fire.
yeah, but I don't know.
Mm. I don't know.
That's enough about pedophiles, I suppose, but I don't
Well,
know.
yeah. And then, well, that could take us down a whole other things we won't go down to about like, yeah, why did Trump even go into Iran? But yeah,
I ordered a new camera.
go on. I thought you
I
weren't doing. What did you get? Or what are you getting?
My ADD got the better of me. I've been coveting a new camera for like a year. I'm
I
shooting
know.
on on a Lumix S5 right now, and I wanted to get an S5 too. And I went to
That's
the
what I've been looking at getting.
I, I went to the camera store to pick up a lens, and they had a used one there. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna buy it. And so I bought it, and it was like 1,800 bucks or something Canadian, and
Use S5 too.
it was a used S5 too, not the
Mhm.
X, just the S5 II. I don't need the X, and so I
What
brought it
is the
home.
difference with the X? Sorry.
The X is it has a bit more pro features. It shoots in ProRes, but and it allows you to record to an external SSD as opposed to the internal camera cards. I don't
Mhm.
really need that functionality, and shooting in ProRes is just. I mean, it's you got to have unlimited budget for hard drive space if you're shooting in ProRes. So I don't really. I
Mhm.
haven't. I don't shoot in it now. I can shoot in ProRes on both cameras by using the HDMI into the Mac because the Mac will record the ProRes right off the feed, but I just don't need it. I don't have and I think you're talking like a gigabyte a second at ProRes, full
Oh,
6K.
really?
Yeah. So I brought this thing home, and the
Mhm.
screen was a little loose. The flip out screen, I could feel it was loose because it was looser than my existing S5. And then as I pulled it out and I was using it, if I moved it while it was on, it started to flicker, and I'm like, oh, there's something wrong with this fucking connection. So I returned it, and I was like, all right, just it was like an extra 20, it was an extra 250 bucks to buy a new one. So it's just like, you know what, I'll get a new one, and then like they're on back order. So I had to back order it. So I'm waiting for it. But what I did discover was on that camera. So on the S5, the maximum resolution you can get off it is 4K. On the S5 II, you can get 6K, and they call it open gate because what we shoot right now is like a 16 by 9 screen, but
Mhm.
the actual sensor on your camera has more height. So the sensor on your camera, I think, is four by 3. And so the 6K that you shoot on the S5 II is open gate. So you get right now you're getting the full width of the sensor on my camera, but you're missing a big chunk on the top and a big chunk on the bottom. So you get that extra chunk, which means you can shoot vertical when you're shooting wide. You don't have to flip your camera anymore when you have a 6K open gate screen. So I shot a few videos on it and pulled them into vertical, and they looked amazing. And then I cropped them into wide and they looked amazing. I'm like, this because like right now I still have to flip my camera around to shoot vertical.
Mhm.
I can shoot vertical. I can cut a vertical out of this, but I have to sit back further. I have to kind of frame it right. This allows me a lot more height to work with. So that alone will save me a ton of time. That's just a bullshit excuse for buying a camera, but that's why I'm buying it because I don't want to flip the old one up. I don't want to turn the old one on its side once in a while. That's my reason. But I also thought it would be cool to have two camera angles because
Yeah,
people
yeah,
now
definitely.
people are getting bored with the one angle. So if you have like a wide shot and a close up and you're flipping between them, you're more likely to get engagement. And if I do shoot a podcast, I now have like a multicam setup. So I've talked
So
myself into it.
when are
I
you getting it?
justified it. I don't know. I'm waiting. They're going to call me today to tell me. Apparently, they have an X in stock, and they said they'd be able to give me a slight deal on it if the back order on the S5 II is too long. So they're calling Panasonic today to find out how long it's going to take. And I said
When
I said
what
I'll,
can
I'll I'll buy the X, but
what
the X is
lens are
500
you
more.
what lens are you going to use for your standard everyday
This
lens?
this one, which is the 24 millimeter, this is a fixed 24 millimeter lens.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna put the S5 II where this one is now, so I can shoot the full 6K open gate, and then I'll put my S5 on my camera cart, so I can move it around and have like a side angle over here
Mhm.
or over here to like bring in two different angles. So yeah,
Because the
it's
standard S5 over here, S5 II over here, there's different. It ships with different lenses.
yeah. So I just bought the body because I already have the lens. I bought the body
Mhm.
only
Yeah.
because I have three lenses and I'll have two cameras for three lenses, so I should be
Cool.
good. Yeah.
Well, I look forward to seeing the new output.
Yeah, you won't know. Nobody will know. That's the funny part about this stuff, right? Nobody will know that you bought a new camera except you. And that's one of the things I want to talk about on my new secret channel is like the whole idea of like, you're fixated on a new camera, but your audience has no idea. They don't
Well, yeah,
care.
but a
You know?
couple of weeks ago you did a video and I questioned whether it was AI or not, and it wasn't. It was a new lens you did. So yeah, it
Yeah.
may not be the case for the camera, but the lens certainly made me look at it twice and say, "Hey, what's going on?"
And that video got 13 million views, right? So, I'm a big believer that pattern interrupts will change your numbers. And I think when you have an audience that's used to seeing you in a certain light, a certain way, a certain color group, a certain t-shirt, a certain whatever, and you go and change that, the chances of that video doing well are very high because you've interrupted their pattern. And if you see me sitting in this room with a book, you know exactly what you're in for. But if you see me on a close up with a blurry background, or you see me in my car, or you see me out on the street doing a video, that's going to interrupt your why is Brad left his basement. You know what I mean? You're instantly interested in what
I didn't watch
that
it.
person's doing.
Yeah, I didn't watch it all, but I did see it come up. You put a video out where you were going out to do a podcast recording.
Yeah, so I was actually doing. I used I used this camera for that. This is the Insta360 Ace Pro 2,
Hmm.
um, which is actually a really good. Like if you're a vlog type of person or whatever, it's got a flip up screen so you can do this, and it's a pretty good camera for like a run and gun action
What's the
camera.
add-on that you've got with that?
It's called the Explorer Grip,
Oh,
and so
okay.
it just makes it look like a bit more of a street camera, like a photography
Yeah, I
camera.
got one of those,
Yeah, it's a good camera.
but I
It's a
haven't
good
got
camera.
the.
But
I haven't got the.
um, I wanted to do something different. I do a lot of this stuff, and nobody ever sees it. And I was like, you know what? It's March break, so I gave my daughter some cash, and I said, hey, you know, come follow me with the camera, come to the podcast, and follow me around, while I go do this. I'm like, this is pretty cool footage. Like I do this stuff in a vacuum. Nobody really sees it except for the podcast footage. Why not? Like I don't do enough follow me behind the scenes, come with me to these things, right? So I'm going to do more
Hmm.
of that. And I don't want to, that's kind of the use for that camera, right? Is like to have something I can give to somebody that isn't a phone, isn't my phone, and shoots decent quality, but also can be in auto mode the entire time because I may be a pro photographer, but my daughter isn't, or whoever I give this to isn't. To be able to just say, "Hey, turn this on auto mode. Follow me wherever we go. Film creatively," and and she did some time lapses. She did some, she followed me, and we had a whole bunch of footage to work with, which was great. And then I just kind of cut it down. I put it to music, and I've been using the new Final Cut AI features. They're amazing, amazing.
All right.
Like it
But
has
let me come
it
back to
has
that a minute.
yeah,
I need to come back to that on that. So the Ace Pro 2 Explorer grip is what you've got on that, yeah?
yeah.
Hmm. I'm seeing it now.
I got it with the camera. It came as a kit with two
Uh,
batteries and the Explorer grip, and but it's
Final Cut. Talk to me about what you've been doing with that then.
so. So two things I use it for. One is, well, obviously I use it for all my editing, but the new AI features that I've been using is when you drop in a music track, you can right click on that music track and say enable beat detection, and then it actually creates cut lines in the timeline based on the music's beats. And then you can bring your clips in. You can actually have them snap to the music beats. So if you want to edit on beats in the music, you can do that.
Wow.
It's not a good idea to follow if you're going to edit to beats. Just a quick tip: don't follow a repetitive pattern that people can predict. Change them, so maybe one clip lasts for 2 beats, one clip lasts for one. Change it around a little bit because people will, if they can predict your cuts, they get bored. But it's really good at helping you do that because before you had to kind of look at the music patterns and figure it out, and it was not always perfect. This is like snap to the beat, which is really cool. And then the other thing I've been using it for, and I have 11 labs, and I was using their tool for a while, but this is now better, is voice isolation. So if you have like outdoor stuff or even like indoor and there's a little bit of background noise, the voice isolation in Final Cut, it's AI based. It's better than 11 Labs. 11 Labs had one where you'd give it your voice, you'd upload your audio, and then it would remove the background noise and use a little bit of their own processing to it, but it sounds fake. And the Final Cut one is it's amazing. It's like it just removes all the background noise, and it's really good.
Because I keep getting prompted to upgrade my numbers and pages and all that stuff. So you can't, keeps pain in the ass. You can't collaborate on documents. It keeps coming up with the new version and then tells me about their new Apple Creator Studio. I think I mentioned that a couple of weeks
Yeah,
ago
you
or
did.
whatever.
Yeah.
So
I have seen the pop-ups for it on Keynote when I opened Keynote. I was like, "Oh, here it is."
yeah, so you get Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, Pixelmator Pro, edit images, Keynote, pages, numbers. They're the three I use most of the time. Compressor and Motion as part of it, but I haven't looked any more into it yet.
I just inhaled my water.
But I know, but I know people tell me Final Cut Pro is kick-ass to use when you know what you're doing.
Yeah, you got to know it. It takes a little bit of learning. I'm still, I would say I'm still pretty novice, but I know
Uh,
enough to do, a little bit of damage and to edit my videos without having to use iMovie or
so,
something else.
well, I only use iMovie, so I'm right at the lowest level for anything I do. And part of me is thinking I need to up my game for some stuff.
Yeah. Final Cut's good, but it's a lot. And I'm actually like I've been spending a lot of time going down that tutorial rabbit hole to learn a little bit more about it and I have learned a lot of cool things. Like one of the things was like, you bring in all these clips, but maybe you want them all to be the exact same length, and so I found out there's a tool for that, and there's like all kinds of stuff that I'm learning about it that are making it easier now that I'm kind of committed to it. So, but if I had my way, I'd have a video editor do it all for me. I used to have one, and
I
but the
remember, yeah.
volume of video is just too crazy. So I think I'm gonna apparently Claude Code does the video editing in Final Cut for you. So I am going to test that this week and see if I can get it to do one of my secret channel videos and see what it can do. And my stuff's a little too weird to have it edit, but if it can do if it can do a camera review or a some creator tool tip or whatever, then I think that might be interesting to see how it does. Oh, I'll tell you something else I've been doing. Um, I have started making, I'm not going to say good money. I'm going to say noticeable money on streaming music.
Yeah.
So maybe $100 to $200 a month. Not like, enough to
That's
make me say, wait a second, there's something
something
going
there,
on
yeah.
here. And most of it's coming from the fact that my music's being used in social media. And so, and again, I'm being kind of cagey and secretive here, but I'm starting to create music, AI music, and publish it under like false, not my
Hmm.
name, basically, not false, but like
Yeah, producer
imaginary,
names or
imaginary,
whatever,
imaginary bands that don't exist, and trying to create because I don't know if you know how this works, but like how there's viral sounds on TikTok or whatever where everybody's using that same sound
yeah. Hmm.
and they're lip syncing to it or whatever. If your published music becomes like a snippet of your published music becomes a viral sound and you have the right monetization settings turned on with your music, that can make you a ton of money, like a ton. If you have,
Yeah.
it's not the, so how it works is if your song goes viral on TikTok, it's not the number of videos or not the number of views that make it profitable for you. It's the number of unique accounts using that sound. And that apparently can so if it's millions of people if there are millions of videos using your sound, you could make 6 to 7 figures off your music.
Well,
And so I'm working on creating these songs that speak to that culture a little bit. The culture of maybe, you know, a mean reply to something, or a thing that people say. Anyway, I'll come back to you once I did my first one this week, and I'm planning to do more of it, but kind of just this idea of like AI music tracks that have vocals, but the vocals are designed to go viral based on the fact that that's the whole purpose. That's, the song doesn't have 20 lines in it. It has four. It's a chorus repeated, three times in a
Yeah.
minute and 20 seconds or whatever, and that's it. And so far, I did it before with turning some of my books into songs, and that's created some revenue. And so I've had it in my head that I want to do this. I want to like leverage Suno AI to create viral songs, publish them, and hopefully have one or two of them go absolutely viral. In the hopes that that generates revenue, but we'll see.
Hmm.
Right now I think my top song only has like 100 videos using it. So if you can get to that place where it's like a super viral sound, there's big money to be made.
Watch this space, eh?
Yeah, we'll see.
Cool.
So I like testing these things, like how
Yeah, yeah.
much like
It's
how much
fascinating.
stuff can you publish, and how much stuff can you put in. I think of it, I call it putting it in the system, right? It's like if you have a song and you publish it on all the streaming platforms and you make it available on all the social platforms, that's like um you know putting it in the system. If you have a book and you publish it, it's putting it in the system. If you have a video and you upload it on all the platforms, that's putting it in the system. And the more stuff you put in the system, the more shots you have at making money and going viral, whether it's books, products, downloads, songs, videos, whatever that is, you're putting it in
You
the
throw enough
system.
shit at the fan, someone's gonna stick. And
Hopefully.
someone's gonna go viral.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, man. Right, let's wrap it up. I'm gonna go and get one of those pro grip things for my Insta 360 on Amazon because I like the idea of that. I don't use it enough because of that reason, and that makes sense. And it's
Because you
never
don't like the
something
grip, because you don't like the grip on it.
well, there's no grip, is it? It's just, yeah,
Well, you
uh,
can also just get a stand, a stick for it, right?
yeah, I don't want that. I like the idea of turning it into what is essentially a camera that you can just use anywhere.
And it has a little button on the top
Normal.
too for the shutter. It has a big old shutter button
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
top, which
yeah.
is
I
kind of
saw that.
cool.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
get one of those
And it has a little
because
hot shoe. And something cool I discovered. Do you have a wireless mic system or no?
yeah, yeah,
What do
I've
you
got
use?
the DJI ones.
Okay, I think they work the same.
Hmm.
I have the Rode one, and the Rode one
Yeah.
goes in the hot shoe, and the USB-C from the Rode wireless mic receiver goes into the USB-C here, and it captures the audio perfectly.
Hmm.
Better than using the 3.5 inch. So if you do use your wireless mics, try to plug the USB right into the USB and see if it records. This is
I would
pretty good
imagine
with
they would do.
external
Yeah,
mics. So
yeah. I'm gonna use it because I don't use it enough, and it is a great camera. And I'm gonna get one of those, and then it turns it into a different bit of a beast. So yeah,
yeah, yeah.
cool guys. All right,
All right.
next week. Catch you soon.
Thanks for watching on Pump Fun, and the OGNT podcast goes up on YouTube and everywhere podcasts are shilled.
Yeah, next week. Catch you
See
later.
ya.